In today's video, I will be showing you how to install Apache Airflow on your local machine without using Docker. So let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned, in today's video, I will be showing you how to install Airflow in your local machine without using Docker. Okay? So quickly, Airflow, if you're not familiar, is a tool that is used to author, schedule, and monitor workflows. So it's a tool that is very popular among data engineers. So in today's video, I will be showing you how to install Airflow in your local machine without using Docker. So a lot of the videos and articles that you will find out there actually use Docker to install Airflow, and even though this is the recommended way, I sometimes find that there's a bit of a learning curve to get it started if you're a beginner. So in today's video, I will just be quickly showing you one of the easiest ways to install Airflow without having to go through Docker. Okay? And I'm using Mac, but I think in Windows the process should be very similar. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so to install Airflow in our local machine without using Docker, these are the steps that we will be following to accomplish that. Okay, so these are the steps. So I've written down the steps here. The first thing that we'll need to do is create a Python virtual environment. The reason why we want to create a Python virtual environment is because we do not want to install Airflow in our global environment, because down the road that's going to mess a lot of things. So the first thing that we'll need to do is we need to install the virtual environment. And then the second step is we go ahead and install Apache Airflow package or library inside our virtual environment. Then after that, we will create our schema using the Airflow DB migrate. Basically, this will initialize our database that Airflow will use. Okay, so Airflow needs a database in the backend to store our data. So we do need to create a database, and that is the third step right here. Okay, and right after that, we will go ahead and create a user that we will use to log into Airflow. Okay, so that is the fourth step right here. And the fifth step is to start our web server and scheduler. Okay, so this web server is the one that will give us the UI in order to log in, and the scheduler is the one that will monitor our tasks and run our scheduled tasks. Okay, so that's our fifth step, and basically the last step here is to log in and run our tasks. Okay, so let's now switch over to our terminal and go to step 1. So I'm here in my terminal, and I will switch over to my home directory like that. And what I will do here is go ahead and create a Python virtual environment. So I will create a Python virtual environment called Airflow v like that. Okay, so our virtual environment is created right now, which is right here. And the next thing that we'll do is activate that virtual environment. So all I have to do is just do source and Airflow v. It's inside bin, and we just have to activate. Okay, so our Python virtual environment now is activated, and after that we will go ahead and install our Apache Airflow. So I'm just going to copy that, and if you do here pip freeze, there's no package currently installed, so we'll go ahead now and install our Airflow library or package. Okay, so just do pip3 and install that. So this will go ahead and bring all of the libraries and packages that are needed for Apache Airflow, and this is going to again install only in our virtual environment. Okay, so we have that step now done. Okay, and once that is done, the next thing that we'll do is to create our database schema. So you will find in other places that in the previous versions of Airflow, this we used to do db like Airflow db init to initialize the database, but I think this one is has been deprecated. So the most recent command to use that is Airflow db migrate. I think you can still execute this and it will run, but I'm just going to use the latest one. So that will be Airflow db migrate, and I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. Okay, so that's going to create our database schema, and again this database is the one that Airflow will use in the backend to store our data. Alright, and if you don't have a database configured, by default Airflow uses SQLite. So if you have another database that you want to store your data like Postgre, MySQL, you can configure it to use that database. But this one is the one that comes in default or by default. And this database is going to be created inside our users directory. There's a folder that has been created called Airflow, and inside that Airflow we have a .db as a database. Okay, so you can see here that migration is done, and now the next thing is to create our user, and I believe we can list users to see if there's any user that we currently have, and with this command we don't have any user now. So let's go ahead and create the user, and this is a command, Airflow users create. You specify the username. I'm just going to use basic admin, and the password will be the same, admin, and you can put your first name, last name, and the role is admin for this. So this role will give you all of the permissions in Airflow to run, create, and delete users, basically as an admin. And you can put your email here. I'm just going to put placeholder email right there. So I'm going to copy this, and I will paste it right here, like so. Okay, so you can see that our user now has been added, and let's see if we can list users. There we go. Okay, so we can see now that our user is created, called admin. All right, so you now have all that you need created, and the next thing that we'll do is we will go ahead and start our web server. Okay, so actually I'm just going to do that right here in my terminal, like so. I'm just going to copy that. So basically we are going to start web server, and we want to start in port 8080, and we will also start the Airflow scheduler, and we will let them run in the background. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it right here. Okay, so you can see now that we have our server running. Okay, so it's putting the worker, and it has started our web server, and it's listening in port 8080. Okay, so now what we can do is go to our browser and basically type localhost 8080. Okay, so this is now our Airflow, and we can see that the UI is coming up because our web server is running locally. And all we have to do is just put the user that we created. I created a user called admin, and the password was admin, and we sign in. Okay, so you can see now that we have our UI available, and this is how the Airflow UI looks like. So you have your DAGs, you have your data sets, and you have all your configurations and everything. Okay, so these are some of the DAGs that come by default. These come with Airflow when you install. So let's go ahead now and run a sample DAG. So we are done up to step 6 right here, and actually up to step 5. Well, we have logged in, and we are able to see our UI. So I think the next step probably that we can do is see if we can run a basic DAG. And to do that, let me do one thing. I am going to open another window here for my Visual Studio Code. And what we want to do is, let's open that Airflow folder, right? So that Airflow folder is this one right here in our users. So that's the Airflow folder that was created when we initialized our database. So, and I will just open a terminal here. Okay, like so. So if you look at the Airflow structure, we have the logs, and you can see that the DAGs that we see in the UI are also here. So it's in the latest if you see the latest DAGs, you can see that these are the ones that we see in the UI right here. I don't want them to be here. I want to create another folder called DAGs. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to create a folder called DAGs, like so. Okay. So inside DAGs is where now I will put my DAGs, and from here we can see if we are able to put a DAG and if that DAG is going to show up in the UI, and we can execute that DAG. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that you can create here the DAGs and put the DAGs here. Quick look at other thing that you can actually look at is the configurations. So we do have the Airflow config file here, and you can see that the DAGs folder is specified here. So it says that it should be inside your home directory and under Airflow, which is right here, and inside that we have DAGs. So this, we didn't have this DAGs before. I just created it right here. And if you go back to your home directory, you will see that we have Airflow. This Airflow is the one that was created when we initialized our database, and inside there we have our configuration file and we do have our database. I just created this DAGs folder right here, and we have logs and the web server. So all of these have to exist in the same place so that the scheduler can know that, yeah, there is something that has been added to the DAGs, and it will detect it and run it for you. Okay, so you do have to put them, all of them, in the same place. Okay, so let's go back now to our code editor right here, and you can go through this configuration and make any changes that you want to make. This database, I don't think you can see it, and this is the web server config. You can go through it and make any changes that you want to. I'm not going to change anything. And what I will do is I'm going to create a DAG here called hello world. Okay, hello world.py. So Airflow is written in Python, so all of your DAGs have to be .py files. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And the next thing that I will do is I will go to I'm just going to go online, and if you can see, actually this is still our home page. There is no hello world example right here. So I'm just going to go and grab something really quick. Airflow hello world. Okay, so we can see if there's a quick hello world program that we can use. Let's see. Tutorial. Okay. Okay, let's see this one. All right, this seems like something we can use. So let's get this one. I'm going to copy this, and we will come back to our Visual Studio Code. This is not the window I had. There should be another one right here, and I will paste that one right here. So basically, all this is doing is importing your DAG from Airflow, and also from Airflow it's importing bash operator. So this is the operator that we will be using down here to run this hello world program. Okay, and these are just some other basic configurations for Airflow. You need the owner, dependencies, the start date. I'm going to do this as 2024. This is 09, maybe 9, like that, and yeah, from the first. You can specify if you want Airflow to send you email when this DAG fails. If you put that as false, the email that you have configured here will not receive any email. when there's a failure, but I think, yeah, it's always good to get notifications. And email on retry, probably not the best idea, but you can also say true on this. How many retries in case of a failure, you can put them here. And the delay, like if the duck fails the first time, when is the next time you want Airflow to retry this? So you can put this every maybe wait for 1 minute or 5 minutes and retry it again. So you can put the configurations here. And then your duck, so the duck ID, this is the duck ID right here. It's called hello world, and it is going to take your defaults and the schedule interval, right? So this schedule interval is the one that your Airflow scheduler will use. So if you put here, like for example, time delta here is 1 day. So I think this might be running every 1 day. And you can also use something like this. You can change this to hourly. Or you can use cron job, right? You can use cron job to also specify this. Okay. So that's your scheduler and schedule interval. And then right there, basically, your task ID, your bash command that you need to run. So when we run this Airflow duck, we expect to see hello world from Airflow in our logs. Okay, so this is a very basic duck, and we are going to run this. So the duck that we again expect to see in our UI is this one called hello world. If you go back to our UI, we don't see any hello world duck right now. Okay, so let's go ahead now and save this. So I'm going to save this, and it is inside our ducks again. So the one thing that you can do here to just make sure that all of your program is fine is you can run so if I go to my ducks, you can basically run Python and run this program right here. So I'm using Mac, so I have to do Python 3. Okay, so you see here that when I run this, it's complaining that's not able to find duck, and the reason for this is because I have not activated my virtual environment. So I need to activate my virtual environment, and that is the virtual environment we created and installed Airflow. So I need to just go ahead and activate it right here. Activate, so Airflow pnv bin activate, like so. So my Airflow is now activated. We are inside our virtual environment, and that is where we install our Airflow. Remember, we did not install this Airflow globally. So when we run it without the active virtual environment, it's not going to know, whether you have Airflow available. It's going to scan your system, and it's not going to find Airflow. So now that we are inside our virtual environment, the next thing we'll go is, let's go to our Airflow directory, and then let's switch over to ducks. Okay, and if we run that command again, we should be able to see if any problem is there. So you can see these are just some warnings. Our schedule interval is deprecated, and the bash operator is also deprecated. So these are just some warnings that you can ignore, and we are going to ignore. But there's no other error, right? So we didn't see any other error. So that means that our duck is fine. So now let's switch over to the UI. Remember, once you do that, you don't have to do anything else. So the web server should automatically detect that there's a duck here, and it is going to load it to your UI. Sometimes it might take a little, a few seconds, 1 minute, depending on how responsive your UI is or your scheduler is. But let's see if we are able to see now that additional duck, right? So we don't see it now. Let's see if we can refresh it. Scroll down. Okay, right here. You see? So we have hello world duck right here. So if you saw before, we had I think it was 8 ducks. Now we have additional duck now available right here. and it is not active. So all you have to do is just click this and just toggle it. So just if you toggle that, that will, so it was paused, basically you unpause it. And now, so the DAG is going, or this DAG is going to run every 1 day, but you can manually activate it. So if you don't do anything right now, it's active. The next time it's going to run is the next day. So what we will do, I'm just going to, if you see right here where it says trigger DAG, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to hit trigger DAG, and it is going to run this program. Okay, so it looks like, because we said that this DAG should go back and the start date is on September 1st, this one is going to run from September 1st. It's going to start from September 1st, you can see, and it's going to catch up all the way up to now. This may not be the best idea. I think you can just use today's date for your case so that you don't have to catch up from all the way back. But you can see now that this DAG has run and it has caught up all the way up to today's date. So basically it ran however many times. So it's ran for, on the 1st, I guess it went on the 2nd all the way up to 18th. Okay, so that one has run now, and you can see the logs. You can go to the logs and see that in the logs now we do have hello world from Airflow. So you can see now that this one is able to output the what we needed to see. Okay, so let's do maybe another. Actually, you can go to the code. You can also see the code right here and see the command. This is the bash command that we wanted to come through, and some of you can see your code and how you've written it. You can see some other details, how the graph looks like, all of these things. Okay, so this is the Airflow UI. Maybe let's go back and make a quick change. I'm going to update this, and let's say hello our first Airflow DAG. So you can update your code and save it. When you come back here, we should be able to see that. Once we see that, let's see, it might take a little bit before it shows up right here. Hello our first DAG, Airflow DAG. So just keep refreshing it and the change will come through. So you can see now that the output has changed, and you can again go ahead and trigger it, and we should be able to see that output in our logs. There we go. All right, so we are now we can determine that we have successfully installed our Airflow and we are able to run our DAGs. Okay, so we have one active DAG here, and we are able to trigger it and run it. So this is what I wanted to show you guys in this video. I just wanted to show you that you can install Airflow in your local machine without using Docker. And again, you can use Docker if you prefer using it, but sometimes I find that having to install Docker and configuring it up to the point it works, and then installing Airflow on top of it, for somebody who is trying to have a quick understanding of how Airflow looks like, having to go through all of that process of installing Docker and on top of it Airflow, it might seem like it's a lot of work. So if you don't want to go through all of that, you can basically just go ahead and install the Airflow in your local machine the way we did it in this video and experiment with it. Okay guys, so I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, please do give thumbs up to this video and do subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated for our upcoming videos. Alright guys, so I think in the next video I will probably go through the process of installing it using Docker and make it much easier than what the videos that are out there currently show. So I will try to simplify it as much as possible so that you can get up and running quickly. Alright guys, so that's what I had for you for today. Again, I hope it was helpful. Please do share these videos, put your comments. If there's a video that you want me to make, let me know in the comment section and I will go ahead and make that video for you. Alright guys, that's all I had for you. Bye bye.